Novak Djokovic is widely regarded as the greatest tennis player of all time.
Who is the male tennis GOAT?
Novak.
This GOAT is Novak Djokovic.
Novak Djokovic. That one's easy.
Greatest male player of all time is Novak Djokovic.
He's the greatest player of all time.
With Novak, if you just put his numbers side by side, slam totals, head-to-head record against most people on earth. He has a positive head-to-head record against his two biggest rivals, has won the most Masters 1000s. He's adding weeks to the all-time #1 list. It's actually hard to make a statistical argument against Novak.
Yeah, we've all heard it. Most Grand Slams, most Masters 1000s, most weeks at #1, the list just goes on. But for all the records and all the dominance, Djokovic has also faced some real heartbreak on tennis' biggest stages. In this video, we're counting down the top 5 most painful Grand Slam losses of Novak Djokovic's career. In number 5, the 2011 French Open semi-final defeat to Roger Federer. Coming into Roland Garros, Djokovic was probably the most talked about player of the clay season, if not the year. He was unbeaten throughout 2011 with a 41 match winning streak, just one win away from matching John McEnroe's all-time ATP Tour record for the best unbeaten start to a season with 42 wins. By then, Djokovic had already beaten Nadal and Federer multiple times that season and was seen as a co-favourite for the title. A win over Federer wouldn't just send him to the final, it will also make him world #1 for the first time in his career. Most expected him to do just that. The first set got off to a shaky start. Both players were broken in their opening service games. Then came a long tense battle in the next game. Djokovic faced multiple break points but saved them all, helped by 3 Federer backhands into the net. And a fourth that went long. Despite the pressure Djokovic held after a game that went to juice 6 times, the set continued with momentum swings. Djokovic broke to go up 4-2, while Federer broke straight back. Then held serve to level it at 4 games all. Neither player could hold the lead for long. Djokovic had 2 set points at 5-4, but Federer held firm and the chance slipped away. With nothing between them, the set moved into a tiebreak. It was close, tense and tight, but in the end Federer edged it 7-5 to take the opener 7-6. Federer carried his momentum into the second set, breaking Djokovic early in the third game to take a 3-1 lead. He kept the pressure on Djokovic's next service game, earning multiple break points for a chance to go up 5-1, but Djokovic held his nerve, saved them all, and managed to hold serve to stay within reach.
Coming out of his shoes again, maybe.
Then at 5-2, Federer had the chance to close out the set on Djokovic's serve, but couldn't finish it off. Djokovic saved multiple set points to stay in the set. Despite the pushback, Federer kept pressing and eventually served for the set at 5-3. At 5-3 with Federer serving, the pressure was starting to build. At 30-40, Djokovic had a breakpoint opportunity to get back on serve, but Federer saved it with an ace. That eased the pressure, and on his 5th set point, he was able to take the second set 6-3.
Federer has done it. Not without a struggle.
Djokovic stormed back in the third, winning 3 games in a row, putting himself in a great position.
Djokovic consolidates.
He even had the opportunity to go up a double break. The set was one-sided and the only real test came in the 5th game when he faced a tough service game, saving multiple break points. But he held firm and you can see just how fired up he was, totally focused and determined to turn the match around.
Playing the slow.
He kept that momentum going, closing out the set in style with an ace to take it 6-3.
And mum's up, she's happy.
The 4th set stayed tight early on with both players holding serve through the first 8 games. But at 4, Djokovic made his move. Federer had chances to hold in that 9th game, but Djokovic capitalized on his second breakpoint opportunity to go up 5-4 with a chance to serve for the set. But Federer wasn't done. He responded in the next game by breaking back, hitting a forehand down the line winner on his 3rd breakpoint opportunity. Djokovic came right back, putting Federer under intense pressure in the next game with multiple breakpoint chances, but Federer stayed calm, handled the pressure and saved them all to hold serve. From that point on, it stayed on serve and eventually went into a tiebreak. In the tie-break, both players exchanged mini breaks early on. But at 3 points all, Federer secured another mini break to go up 4-3, a lead that proved decisive. He then won 2 more points to go up 6-3, giving himself 3 match points to close it out. Djokovic fought back hard, saving the first 2 match points. But on the third, Federer stepped up and served an ace right down the tee, sealing the win. That ace ended Djokovic's incredible 41 match winning streak and secured Federer's place in yet another French Open final. It was a painful loss for Djokovic. His 41 match winning streak had come to an end, a chance to equal a record that had stood over 2 decades. Another historic achievement that would have added even more to an already remarkable season. And to make it worse, this ended up being the only major he didn't win that year. He may still look back at 2011, not only as a missed chance at the calendar Grand Slam, but as the year he might have done what no one else has, beating Rafael Nadal in Roland Garros final. In number 4, the 2023 Wimbledon final defeat to Carlos Alcaraz. Heading into the 2023 Wimbledon final, Novak Djokovic was on the verge of making more history. He was aiming to equal Roger Federer's record of 8 Wimbledon titles and tie Margaret Court's all-time record of 24 Grand Slam singles titles. He hadn't lost a match on centre court in over a decade and was on a 34-match winning streak at Wimbledon. But across the net stood 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz, the reigning US Open champion and world number 1, looking to make his own mark in history. If he won, he would become the 3rd youngest man to win Wimbledon and the youngest Wimbledon's men's champion since Boris Becker in 1985. Djokovic came out sharp, breaking Alcaraz twice and storming through the opening set 6-1. It looked like he was in total control. But Alcaraz hit back fast in the second. He held, then broke Djokovic to go up 2-0 and suddenly the momentum looked like he was starting to turn. For the first time it felt like Alcaraz had settled into the match. But Djokovic wasn't about to let him run away with it. He broke back in the next game. Then held serve, saving a break point in the process to level the set at 2 games all. From there, the set stayed on serve and eventually went into a tiebreak. In the tiebreak, Djokovic got to a quick 3-0 lead, but Alcaraz managed to respond and claw his way back to 3-3. Then at 6-5, Djokovic had a set point, but couldn't take the opportunity. He hit a backhand into the net. He made the same mistake on the very next point, giving Alcaraz a set point. And Alcaraz took full advantage, finding a backhand winner to take the set and even the match. In the third set, Alcaraz picked up right where he left off, breaking Djokovic in the opening game when Djokovic hit a backhand into the net. He then held serve to take a quick 2-0 lead. Djokovic stayed in touch, holding serve to make it 2-1. He then put pressure on Alcaraz in the 4th game with multiple breakpoint opportunities, but Alcaraz managed to come through that service game to extend his lead to 3-1. Then came a marathon 5th game lasting over 26 minutes. Djokovic was feeling the pressure. He had multiple chances to hold, but couldn't close it out, and even had a heated dispute with the umpire over a time violation.
If I am not able to get the towel from the ball kick, I have to go and get the towel, but you start the time. How is that fair? You do it for everybody.
Alcaraz had his chances too. Breakpoint after breakpoint came and went until finally, on the 7th opportunity, Djokovic hit a forehand into the net and Alcaraz stretched his lead to 4-1. He was in complete control. He broke Djokovic for a 3rd time in the set and closed out 6-1 to take a 2-1 lead. Alcaraz looked like he might get off to another fast start in the 4th, just like he did in the 3rd. He held his opening service game. Then had the chance to break Djokovic in the opening return game, but both times he couldn't get the ball back in play. Djokovic escaped and held for 1-1. From there, the set stayed on serve until the 5th game when Djokovic finally broke through. On his 3rd break point, Alcaraz tried a drop shot, but missed. Djokovic took the break and a 3-2 lead. Later at 5-3, he had 3 set points. Alcaraz saved the first, but on the second, a double fault handed Djokovic the set and forced the decider. The final set started tight, with both players under real pressure on serve. Both had early chances to break, but neither could capitalize. Then in the third game at 30-40, Alcaraz dropped. He hit a backhand passing shot down the line to break Djokovic and take the lead. He followed it up with an ace and a confident hold to go up 3-1. Djokovic stayed in touch by holding his service game. But at 3-2, he had a golden chance at 30, only to miss hit his forehand wide. Unfortunately, he was helped by the breeze. Alcaraz responded with an ace to hold serve for 4-2. The Stet stayed on serve from there and the score reached 5-4, with Alcaraz now serving for the championship. He lost the first point with a drop shot that landed in the net, but quickly regrouped. He put together a well-constructed point, mixing a well-disguised drop shot followed by a lob to bring it to 50-0. Then Alcaraz hit a backhand volley to go up 30-15. Djokovic fought back with a forehand winner to even it at 30-all. On the next point, Alcaraz unleashed a big first serve. Djokovic couldn't get his return back in play, giving Alcaraz championship point. On that final point, Alcaraz went cross-court with his forehand. Djokovic stretched, but his shot clipped the net, and that was it. Alcaraz had claimed his first Wimbledon title. This is one of the most painful defeats of Djokovic's career. He'll no doubt be left forgetting the missed chances. Here's what he had to say after the match.
I would say tiebreak in a second to backhands that kind of let me down, to be honest. Set point, I missed the backhand. I should not have missed that shot. And then on 6-all, again, another backhand from middle of the court in the net. Just two very poor backhands.
Despite the loss, Djokovic will no doubt feel he's still got another Wimbledon title in him and that he can still match Federer's record of 8 before he retires from the sport. In number 3, the 2013 French Open semi-final defeat to Rafael Nadal. The 2013 French Open semi-final between Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic is widely considered one of the greatest clay court matches of all time. Nadal came into the tournament as the favourite, having won 6 of the 8 events he's played since returning from a 7-month injury layoff in February. But Djokovic was seen as his biggest threat at the time. Not only was he the world number 1, he was also the last man to beat Nadal on clay, having defeated him in Monte Carlo, Nadal's most dominant event at the time, where he had won 8 straight titles before that loss. Both men were playing for more than just a spot in the final. For Nadal, it was a chance to move closer to an 8th French Open crown. For Djokovic, it was a chance to stay on course for the career Grand Slam. The first set was tightly contested, with both Nadal and Djokovic holding serve through the early games. But in the 7th game, Nadal managed to secure a crucial break to edge ahead. And from there, he held his nerve and closed out the set 6-4. In the second set, Nadal kept up the pressure and broke Djokovic in the 5th game to take a 3-2 lead. Up a set and a break, he seemed to be completely in control. But then the momentum shifted. Djokovic broke back to level the set. Then held serve to take the lead. And then broke Nadal again. He was now serving for the set. He went on to close out the set 6-3, winning 4 games in a row to level the match. Nadal responded emphatically in the third, winning 5 straight games, breaking Djokovic's serve twice in the process. He was just 1 game away from taking the set and even had the chance to bagel Djokovic, having 2 set points on the serve, but Djokovic saved both and finally got on the scoreboard. Nadal then served it out, clinching the set 6-1 after Djokovic backhand went long. The 4th set was completely different. It was tight, close and tense throughout. The Stet stayed on serve until the 7th game when Nadal finally broke Djokovic on his second chance to go up 4-3. With a 2-1 lead and now a break ahead in the 4th, Nadal looked like he was closing in on the final, but Djokovic wasn't done. He broke back straight away to level the set at 4-all. Then in the 11th game, Nadal broke Djokovic's serve again to go out 6-5 and giving himself a shot at serving for the match. Once again, Djokovic fought back. He earned a break point in the next game and nailed it with a forehand winner to force a tiebreak. In the tiebreak, Djokovic got an early mini break and never looked back, going on to take it 7-3 and level the match at 2-all. In the final set, Djokovic came out firing. He broke Nadal in the opening game. However, in the next game, he quickly found himself under pressure on his own serve when Nadal earned a break point at 30-40. But Djokovic stayed composed, saved the break point, and held serve to extend his lead to 2 games to love. Nadal responded with a hold, closing the gap to 2 games to 1. Both players went on to hold their service games until the 8th, when Nadal earned a break point at 30-40. But he missed his forehand wide and the game went to juice. Then something crazy happened. Djokovic came forward to the net to hit a smash, but just before the ball bounced twice, he lost his balance and fell into the net. That meant Nadal won the point. Djokovic glared at the umpire Pascal Maria and argued, but his protest was unsuccessful. Despite the fall, Djokovic stayed composed and saved the break point. Nadal kept the pressure on, earning another break point when Djokovic's forehand hit the net. On his third chance, Djokovic made the same mistake and Nadal broke back to level at 4 games all. Nadal then held serve to go up 5-4, just 1 game away from the match. Djokovic managed to get through that game, leveling things at 5 games all. They held serve again, pushing the set to 6-6. With no tie breaks in play, the set kept going. Neither player saw a break or match point until 8-7. That's when Nadal had 3 match points. And on the very first opportunity, Djokovic sent his shot long. And just like that, Nadal sealed the win and reached his 8th French Open final. For Djokovic, it was a painful loss. After the match, he said, "It's been an unbelievable match to be part of, but all I feel now is disappointment. I wanted this title so much." Still, he tried to stay optimistic. Of course, the feeling is not great at the moment, but I still feel I have years ahead of me. And he was right. He would go on to win the French Open years later. He would also finally beat Nadal in Paris. But even so, for many fans, this loss still leaves a bitter taste. Because while Djokovic eventually defeated Nadal at Roland Garros in 2015 and again in 2021, some argue he never did it when Nadal was truly at his peak. In number 2, the 2015 French Open final defeat to Stanislas Wawrinka. Novak Djokovic came into the 2015 French Open final as the overwhelming favourite. He held a commanding 17-3 head-to-head record against Stan Wawrinka and was enjoying one of the best seasons of his career. He was on a 28 match winning streak, had won 4 straight Masters 1000 titles, including 2 on clay in Monte Carlo and Rome, and delivered a stunning quarter-final victory over Rafael Nadal, ending the 9-time champion's reign at Roland Garros. Many believed this would finally be the moment Djokovic completed a career Grand Slam. In the first set, both players were solid, managed to hold their serve through the first 6 games.
Whoa! A howitzer.
Then, out of nowhere in the 7th, Wawrinka had a total collapse. 3 loose backhands put him down love 40, and on the very next point, a double fault sealed the break. Djokovic had the lead and he didn't have to do a thing. A complete gift. Djokovic stepped up to serve for the set, but it wasn't all straightforward. He had 2 set points at 40-15, but couldn't close it out.
Yeah, but it was not a good overhead from Novak.
Wawrinka earned a break point to get back on serve.
This will be some achievement.
But Djokovic saved it with a big first serve that Wawrinka couldn't get back in play.
200 Ks out wide.
On his 3rd set point, Djokovic finally converted, taking the set 6-4.
Yeah, listen to him now. He couldn't hold.
In the 2nd set, Djokovic had an early chance to go up a set and a break. But Wawrinka saved the break point with an ace. Then held with a volley to take a 1-0 lead.
Well, perfect.
Djokovic quickly responded by winning the love game to even the score at 1 game all. The set remained on serve over the next few games, but Wawrinka looked more likely to secure the crucial break as he continued to put pressure on Djokovic's serve. The turning point came at 4-5, with Djokovic serving to stay in the set. He raced their 30-love lead. but Wawrinka battled back, earned a set point at 30-40, and converted it with a decisive break, sealing the set 6-4.
Amazing.
In the third set, Wawrinka held serve in the opening game and then immediately put pressure on Djokovic's serve in the next game. He had 2 break points, but Djokovic saved both with a backhand volley at the net.
That's why he's the world number 1.
Wawrinka had a third opportunity, but Djokovic held firm again, saving the break and winning the next 2 points to level it at 1 game more.
Out of trouble.
Both players held serve through the next few games, but at 3-2 Wawrinka saw another opening. At love 30, he whipped a stunning backhand down the line to earn 3 break points. He didn't waste any time, converting the first by reading Djokovic's drop shot perfectly and replying with a cross-court forehand winner to break for 4-2. Wawrinka backed it up in a tight surface game, saving a break point to extend his lead to 5-2. Djokovic held serve to stay in the set at 5-3. But Wawrinka closed it out in style, holding to love and taking the third set 6-3. In the fourth set, Djokovic came out firing. He won 3 games in a row, including an early break to take a commanding 3-0 lead.
He could be doing it again.
But Wawrinka wasn't done. He responded in style, clawing his way back with 3 straight games of his own to level the set at 3 games all. With the momentum now on his side, Wawrinka pushed for a 4th consecutive game and earned 2 break points on Djokovic's serve.
Listen to the crowd.
But Djokovic rose to the moment, saving the first with a well-constructed point, finished at the net with a forehand volley.
Well played.
And the second with a brilliant backhand volley.
Got it.
Fired up, he won the next 2 points, sealing the hold with a stunning backhand down the line to edge ahead 4-3.
Whoa.
Djokovic looked to press the advantage in the next game, earning 3 break points. At that point, it felt like the match might turn. But Wawrinka held firm, saving all 3, and eventually holding to level at 4 games all. Then came the breakthrough in the 9th game. Wawrinka earned 2 break points. And on the second, he hit a backhand down the line to break Djokovic and got 5-4, giving himself the chance to serve for the championship. The final game was full of tension. Djokovic saved a match point and even had the chance to break back. But on his second championship point, Wawrinka hit another backhand winner to seal the victory and claim his first French Open title.
A double Grand Slam champion.
For Djokovic, this was a painful defeat. Here's what he had to say after the match.
There as a runner-up again, but I lost to a better player who played some courageous tennis and deserved to win.
Even though he would go on to win the French Open and complete the career Grand Slam the following year, Djokovic may still have regrets about how he played that day. While many saw Wawrinka as delivering the match of his life, Djokovic may still look back and feel this was the year he should have won the calendar Grand Slam, and some of his fans may feel the same. In number 1, the 2021 US Open final defeat to Daniil Medvedev. The 2021 US Open final was one of the most anticipated matches in recent tennis history. Djokovic was aiming to become the first man since Rod Laver in 1969 to complete the calendar Grand Slam. Having already won the Australian Open, French Open and Wimbledon that year, he stood just 1 match away from a feat no male player had achieved in over 50 years. A win would also give him a record-breaking 21st Grand Slam title, leaving him ahead of Federer and Nadal. In the opening game of the first set, Djokovic looked tight and under pressure and was broken immediately. That early break proved decisive as his opponent stayed solid on serve throughout the set. Djokovic never saw a breakpoint opportunity, and although he had the chance to go down a double break in the third game, he managed to avoid it. In the end, the lone break was enough to settle the set 6-4. In the second set, Djokovic started strong despite the disappointment of losing the opener. He held his first service game, and then created 3 breakpoint chances in the next game, looking to take a 2-0 lead. But Medvedev held firm. He saved all 3 breakpoints, fired an ace to bring up game point, and followed it up with a big first serve that forced Djokovic to hit long. The next couple of surface games were intense, with both players having chances to break, but neither could convert. At 2 games all in the 5th game, Medvedev had another opportunity. He earned 2 break points. Djokovic saved the first with an attempt at a serve and volley, drawing a forehand error from Medvedev. But on the second, Medvedev broke through as Djokovic sent a volley long. Medvedev then backed up with a love hold to extend his lead to 4-2. From there, he stayed solid on serve, not giving Djokovic another look at break point. Eventually closed out 6-4, just one set away from his first Grand Slam title. Medvedev came out strong in the third set, breaking Djokovic twice and holding serve to build a commanding 4-0 lead. Djokovic's hopes of completing the calendar Grand Slam was slipping away fast. He responded with a love hold to make it 4-1. But Medvedev stayed composed, holding again to move within 1 game of the title. But Djokovic wasn't ready to let go of his dream just yet. He saved the championship point and began to mount a late comeback, winning 3 games in a row to close the gap to 5-4. Suddenly putting real pressure on Medvedev's serve as he served for the US Open title. In that final game, Medvedev stayed locked in. He earned 2 more championship points with a forehand winner. Djokovic saved the first with a double fault from Medvedev. But on the second, his backhand return hit the net, and that was it. Medvedev collapsed to the court, celebrating his first Grand Slam title. For Djokovic, the 2021 US Open final had to be up there with the most painful defeats of his career, not just because it ended his bid for the calendar Grand Slam, but because of how it all unfolded from the Olympics all the way to New York. Here's what he had to say after the match.
It's a tough one to swallow this loss. I mean, considering everything that was on the line. Throughout the tournament in the last couple of weeks was just a lot to handle, and I was just glad that finally the run is over.
Even his Serbian teammate Viktor Troicki said, physically and mentally, Novak was destroyed. Physically, he couldn't take it anymore. Emotionally, he died after the match with Zverev. Djokovic had thrown everything into that Olympic campaign, chasing the gold medal he's always dreamed of, and falling short hits hard. He was exhausted by the time he reached New York, and while we'll never know how much of a difference skipping mixed doubles might have made, it's something he may always wonder about. Before we wrap up, here are 2 more crushing defeats that came close to making the list. The 2014 Australian Open quarter-final defeat to Stanislas Wawrinka. Djokovic came in as the 3-time defending champion and had beaten Wawrinka in a 5-set epic the year before. But this time, Wawrinka turned the tables. In the final set, leading 8-7, Wawrinka had Djokovic serving to stay in the match, and that's when everything fell apart for Djokovic. At 30-all, Wawrinka missed hit to return and Djokovic saw an opening, but the shot went just wide, handing over match point. Then tried to save it with a serve and volley. Djokovic sent a routine volley out, 2 uncharacteristic errors, the kind he usually makes 9 times out of 10. And just like that, his 28-match Melbourne streak was over, along with his hopes of a 5th Australian Open title. The 2012 US Open final defeat to Andy Murray. In a brutal 5-set battle, Djokovic came back from 2 sets down and looked after momentum. But early in the 5th, at 30-40, Murray's backhand slice kicked the net cord and dropped over, and Djokovic's next shot hit the net. Murray broke, jumped out to a 3-love lead, breaking Djokovic's serve again along the way. And despite Djokovic pulling 1 break back, it wasn't enough. Murray broke once more and closed out the match to win his first Grand Slam title. And there you have it, Djokovic's most painful defeats. Alright guys, do you agree with this list? Would you have ranked these losses differently, or is there a match you think deserves to be in the top 5? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and hit the bell icon to tune in to more videos.